Hey, I'm Dr. Gordo, and welcome back to The Raven and the Writing Desk. Today we're taking a look at Act 3 of Hamlet by William Shakespeare, a line-by-line reading with commentary. If you missed our previous videos, there's links down in the description, and in the meantime, if you could please subscribe, there's a lot more Hamlet content on the way. What we are doing is going through the play pretty much line by line with an emphasis on character point of view and audience understanding. We're also providing summaries of the content. If you're brand new to Hamlet, welcome. Our objective here is to establish a grounded understanding of the play by taking a careful look at the text itself without analysis, just a little bit of commentary. Now, the way I read the lines is subjective because I'm trying to put a little bit of emotion into it, but I am by no means a Shakespearean actor. So without further ado, Act 3, Scene 1, Grand Hall of Elsinore. Polonius arranges an encounter between Hamlet and Ophelia. After a soliloquy, Hamlet and Ophelia try to talk, but it falls apart. Claudius resolves to send Hamlet away. We start with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern briefing Claudius and Gertrude that they've been unable to get anything out of Hamlet. Rosencrantz. He does confess he feels distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak. Guildenstern. Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring him on some confession of his true state. So, Hamlet's being cagey. Claudius. Did he receive you well? Rosencrantz. Most like a gentleman. Guildenstern. But with much forcing of his disposition. But they may have some good news. Gertrude. Did you assay him in any pastime? Guildenstern. Madam, it so fell out that certain players we overwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him. Polonius concurs. 'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter. Claudius. With all my heart, and it doth most content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge in, and drive his purpose into these delights. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit. Claudius. Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Her lawful father and myself so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge. Before departing, Gertrude says to Ophelia that she hopes that the cause of Hamlet's madness is lovesickness because perhaps that's a matter easily solved. Gertrude. I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors. Ophelia. Madam, I wish it may. Quick point. Ophelia believes Polonius. Ophelia believes that she is the cause of Hamlet's madness. Polonius gives some last-minute instructions to Ophelia. Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we may bestow ourselves. He then gives her a prayer book and in his long-winded way explains that if she looks like she's been praying, she'll look all the more innocent. To which Claudius comments in an aside, Oh, 'tis true, how smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. Oh, heavy burden. What is the burden that's bothering Claudius? But we'll learn more about that later. Polonius. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord. And now we get the famous to be or not to be soliloquy. If you're not familiar with this speech, it is about self-harm, idolation. And so I just give you a quick advisory about that. In the meantime, let's emphasize that Hamlet is in a depressed state. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against the sea of troubles and, by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by its sleep to say, we end the heartache of the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Ah, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, who knows what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurs that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those wills we have that fly to other that we know not of? Thus conscience makes cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled over with the pale cast of thoughts, and enterprises of great pitch, and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Hamlet then notices Ophelia approaching. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. He speaks to Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all sins remembered. Ophelia, good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day? I humbly thank you well. Ophelia has the letters that he wrote to her, and she wants to give him back his stuff. My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to deliver. I pray you now receive them. Hamlet's mood begins to change as he becomes more and more angry at this situation. No, not I. I never gave you aught. Ophelia, my honored lord, you know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath compose as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord. Hamlet becomes hostile. Ha! Are you honest, my lord? Are you fair? What means your lordship? That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty? Hamlet's accusing her of being dishonest. Ah, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was something of a paradox, but now time gives it proof. I did love you once. Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so. You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inculcate our old stock that we shall relish of it. I loved you not. I was the more deceived. All of Hamlet's anger is about to come out, and Ophelia is the target. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldest thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that'd be better if my mother had never borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Hamlet realizes he said too much, and something seems off. Where's your father? At home, my lord. Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Ophelia, thinking she's the cause of all of this, begins to panic. Oh, help him, you sweet heavens! If thou dost marry, I'll give you this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, farewell. Heavenly powers restore him, or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell. I have heard your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig and amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures and make wantonness your ignorance. Go to. I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say we will have no more marriage. Those who are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go. Hamlet exits. Ophelia is completely shaken. Oh, what a noble mind here is overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the excellency and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion, and the mold of form, the observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most dejected and wretched, that suckled the honey of his music vows, now see that noble mind and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of time and harsh, that unmatched form and stature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen. Claudius and Polonius emerge from their hiding space. Claudius is convinced this is not mad love. Love? His affections do not that way trend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. Claudius has a favor with the English court, and he's going to use it. There's something to his soul over which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger. Which for to prevent, I have made a quick determination, thus set it down, he shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Claudius hopes some time away from court will do Hamlet good. Happily the seas, and courtiers different, with variable objects, shall expel this something, settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating, puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on it? Polonius agrees with Claudius's plan, but he still thinks the cause of Hamlet's madness is unrequited love, and he thinks if Gertrude talks to Hamlet, maybe she can get the truth out of him. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat with him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or can find him where your wisdom best shall think. So this spying on Hamlet didn't work, but maybe if we try to spy on him again, that plan will work. Claudius, it shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go. End scene. Recap Act 3, Scene 1. Hamlet's depression continues. Polonius' plan backfires. Hamlet is pushed further into real madness. Claudius decides to send Hamlet to England to recuperate. Polonius suggests Gertrude speak with her son. Perspectives. Ophelia. Convinced Hamlet is madly in love with her. She is forced into an encounter with the prince where he becomes aggressive. Feels much guilt for causing Hamlet's madness. Polonius insists that his plan revealed Hamlet's love madness. Suggests that Gertrude confront Hamlet about his madness after the player's performance. Claudius, unconvinced that Ophelia is the cause of Hamlet's madness, plans to send Hamlet to England until his madness subsides. Agrees with the suggestion Gertrude speak with Hamlet. Hamlet, thoughts on self-harm, not revenge. Quickly turns on Ophelia and reveals his true madness, to be sent to England for recovery. Audience point of view. Is Hamlet capable of carrying out his revenge? Because he does seem to be in a sad state. How will he react to being sent to England? And will he confess his thoughts to Gertrude? Act 3, Scene 2, Grand Hall of Elsinore. Hamlet greets the court before the performance. He is crude to Ophelia. The players reenact the murder of King Hamlet. Claudius appears guilty. Prince Hamlet claims victory. The scene opens with Hamlet telling the players, "Speak the speech, I pray you." He then goes on to a long dialogue about how actors should act. It's probably more about how Shakespeare thought actors should act in his own time. So if you'd like me to get into that, I can do a video on it. Otherwise, I'm just going to move on with the scene. Polonius enters with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. "How now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?" Polonius, "And the queen too, and that presently." Horatio enters. We haven't seen him since Act 1 and we're not sure what he's been up to, but Hamlet greets him. What ho, Horatio! Here, sweet lord, at your service. Hamlet appears to pay Horatio a compliment. Horatio, thou art even as just a man as ever my conversation coped withal. Horatio, oh, my dear lord. But Hamlet wasn't being complimentary. He just wants to remind Horatio that he is his servant. Hey, do not think I flatter. For what advancement may I hope from thee, that no revenue has but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? What should the poor be flattered? No, let the candy-tongue-licked absurd pomp and crook the pregnant hinges of the knee, where thrift may follow flaunting. Hamlet is telling Horatio, you're the only person that I trust. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one in suffering, all that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards hath taken with equal thanks, whose blood and judgments are so well commeddled, that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of here, as I do thee. Horatio, you're really important to the plan I have here. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennelled in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's Scythe. So please keep a close eye on Claudius and see if he acts suspicious. Give me heedful note, for I mine eyes will revert his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming. Horatio agrees to help. Well, my lord, if he steals aught while else this play is playing and escape detecting, I will pay the theft. The court enters. They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get to your place. Claudius greets Hamlet and gets a nonsensical reply. How fares our cousin Hamlet? Excellent. In faith of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capers so. Hamlet then asked Polonius if he's ever tried acting before. That I did, my lord, and I was accounted a good actor. What did you enact? I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me. Ah, what a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready? Rosencrantz, aye, my lord, they stand upon your patience. Gertrude would like Hamlet to sit beside her, but Hamlet has another idea. Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me. No, good mother, here's metal more attractive. Polonius hopes that Claudius is noting this conversation. Oh ho, do you mark that? Hamlet proceeds with making Ophelia extremely uncomfortable. Lady, shall I lie in your lap? No, my lord. I mean, my head upon your lap. Ay, my lord. Did you think I meant country matters? I think nothing, my lord. Hamlet makes a pun about what lies between maids' legs. That's a fair thought, to lie between maids' legs. What is that, my lord? Nothing. You are merry, my lord. Who? I? I, my lord. Oh God, you're only jig-maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father's died within 2 hours. Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord. So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh heavens, died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Then there's hope for a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. But, by Our Lady, he must build churches then, or else he shall suffer not thinking on, with the hobby horse whose epitaph is, for oh ho, the hobby horse is forgot. The players enter and perform a dumb show. A dumb show is like a trailer for the play. They enact the whole play without saying anything. So what they're about to show, they show, but there's no reaction from the court. It's possible that they're distracted in getting their seats. But Hamlet and Ophelia discuss it. Ophelia is not familiar with a dumb show. What means this, my lord? Marry, it is mischimalatio, it means mischief. Belike this show imports the argument in the play. We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all. Will he tell us what the show meant? Aye, or any show that you will show him. Be not ashamed to show. He'll not shame to tell you what it means. You are not. I'll mark the play. The prologue begins. For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently. Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring? 'Tis brief, my lord, as woman's love. The play within the play begins, and the king and queen declare their love for one another. Full 30 time, Phoebus' cart gone round Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orbed ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times 12 30s been since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite communal in most sacred bands. But the player queen is concerned about the health of her husband. So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count over ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet, though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must, for women fear too much, even as they love, and women's fear and love hold quantity in neither aught or in extremity. Now what my love is, truth hath made you known, and as my love is size, my fear is so. Where love is great, the little doubts are fear. Where little fear grows great, great love is there. The king feels he doesn't have long left, but when he's gone, he would like her to remarry. Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operative powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply as kind for husband shalt thou. But the queen won't hear of this. Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs to treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first. Hamlet finds that line bitter. That's wormwood. The queen continues. The instances that second marriage move are base respect of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead when second husband kisses me in bed. The king is listening, but when he's gone, you're going to change your mind. I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth, of but poor validity, which now the fruit unripe sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. Most necessarily 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt, what to ourselves in passion we purpose, the passion ending, doth the purpose lose, the violence of either grief or joy, their own enactors with themselves destroy. Where joy most revels, grief doth most lament, grief joys, joy grieves, on slender accident. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange, that even our loves should with our fortunes change, for 'tis a question left us yet to prove, whether love lead fortune, or else fortune love. The great man down, you mark his favorite flies, the poor, advance, makes friends of enemies, and hither doth love on fortune tend, for who not needs shall never lack a friend, and who would want a hallow friend doth try directly seasons him his enemy. But orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do not contrary run, that our devices still are overthrown, our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead. He insists that she remarry. Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light, sport and repose, lock me from day and night, to desperation turn my trust and hope, an anchor's cheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy, meet what I would have done, and it destroy, but here and hence purpose me lasting strife, if, once a widow, ever I be wife. Hamlet is engrossed. If she should break now. The king is touched by her words, but now he must rest. 'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, Leave me here a while, my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep. Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain. Hamlet checks for Gertrude's approval. Madam, how you like the play? Gertrude, the lady doth protest too much, methinks. Oh, but she'll keep her word. Claudius thinks something's up. Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it? No, no, they do but jest. Prison and jest, no offense in the world. What do you call this play? The Mousetrap. Mary, how? Tropically, this play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife's Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the galled jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This one is Lucianus, nephew to the king. Ophelia tries to break the tension. You are as good as the chorus, my lord. I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying. You are keen, my lord, you are keen. It would cost you a groaning to take off mine edge. Still better and worse. But Hamlet wants the play to continue. So you mistake your husbands. Begin, murderer. Box, leave thy damned faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. Enter the murderer with ear poison. Thoughts, black, hands, apt, drugs, fit, and time agreeing, confederate season, else no creature seeing, thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property unwholesome life usurp immediately. Hamlet becomes the chorus. He poisoned him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The story is extant and written in very choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife. Claudius reacts. The king rises. Hamlet is gleeful. What? Frightened with false fire? Polonius calls off the play, and Claudius storms out. Gertrude, how fares my lord? Polonius, give over the play. Claudius, give me some light. Away! Everyone but Hamlet and Horatio exit. The prince sings his triumph. Why, let the strunken deer go weep, and heart ungalled play, for some must watch, while some must sleep. Thus runs the world away. Hamlet checks in with Horatio. Would not this, sir, and a force of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me, with 2 provincial roses on raised shoes, give me a fellowship and a cry of players. Half a share? Horatio doesn't seem that excited, perhaps because he just saw Hamlet's madness on display. A whole one eye, for thou dost know, O Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns here a very, very Pajuk. You might have rhymed. Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Didst perceive? Very well, my lord. Upon the talk of the poisoning, I did very well note him. Hamlet calls for music. Aha! Come, some music. Come, the recorders. For if the king like not the comedy, why then, belike he likes it not. Parody. Come, some music. Guildenstern. Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you. Sir, a whole history. The king, sir. Aye, sir, what of him? In his retirement marvellous distempered. With drink, sir? No, my lord, with choler. Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor, for me to put him in his purgation would perhaps plunge him to more choler. Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame, and start no so wildly from my affair. I am tame, sir. Pronounce. The queen your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, has sent me to you. You are welcome. Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business. Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command, or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more but to the matter. My mother, you say. Guildenstern is telling Hamlet that Gertrude wants to speak to him immediately. Then thus she says, your behavior has struck her into amazement and admiration. Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother! But is there no sequel at the heels to this mother's admiration? Impart. She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed. We shall obey. Were she 10 times our mother, have you any further trade with us? Rosencrantz appeals to their childhood together and makes another attempt to get some kind of answer out of Hamlet. My lord, you once did love me, and still do, by these pickers and stealers. Good my lord, what is the cause of distemper? You surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friends. Sir, I lack advancement. How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession of Denmark? Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders, let me see one, to withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil? Hamlet would like Guildenstern to try one of the recorders. Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly. I do not understand that. Will you play upon this pipe? My lord, I cannot. I pray you, believe me, I cannot. I do beseech you. I know no touch of it, my lord. It is as easy as living. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops. But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill. Why, look at you now. How unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. S'blood, do you think I am easier to be played than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Polonius enters. God bless you, sir. My lord, the queen would like to speak with you, and presently. Hamlet pretends not to hear. Do you see yonder clouds that's almost in the shape of a camel? By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed. Methinks it is like a weasel. It is backed like a weasel. Or like a whale. Very much like a whale. Then we'll come to my mother by and by. Then an aside. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by. Polonius. I will say so. By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. Everyone except Hamlet exit, and we get a little soliloquy. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business of the day would quake to look on, soft now to my mother. Hamlet is ready to take revenge, but don't let Gertrude talk you out of it. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not even the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words somever shall she shent, to give them seals never, my soul content. Recap, Act 3, Scene 2. Hamlet's plan seems to have worked. Claudius looked guilty while watching the play. Hamlet's madness was on full display for the court. Claudius is furious, and Gertrude wants to speak to Hamlet immediately. Perspectives. The players. Hired to perform a known play with some modifications. We don't learn if they are punished, but we do see that Hamlet is willing to use people to get his revenge. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. They continue to inform on Hamlet to the king. Hamlet continues to evade their questions and inform Hamlet he is to see his mother in her room immediately. Polonius, moving forward with his plan to spy on Hamlet in Gertrude's room, he reminds Hamlet to go immediately, and he is still holding out that the cause of his madness is lovesickness over Ophelia. Ophelia. Hamlet continues to be verbally abusive, but she just has to take it. She is humiliated at the play, and she does think she's the cause of Hamlet's madness, so she has that guilt riding on her. Horatio, notified of the play plan to catch the conscience of the king, Hamlet considers him to be his most trusted confidant, but also a servant. Horatio seems to accept this role. Hamlet, still playing mad for the court. He is impatient during the scene, but his plan works. Claudius appears guilty when the player king is assassinated, treats Horatio, Ophelia, and the players poorly. Claudius and Gertrude. They were looking forward to the play, but leave furious. It wasn't Gertrude's idea to speak to Hamlet privately, but she wants to now. Claudius is furious. Does Hamlet know something? Audience point of view. Claudius seems startled by the play within the play. Is he guilty? Will Hamlet finally carry his revenge before he's sent to England? And what will Gertrude say to her son? Act 3, Scene 3, Private Room in Elsinore. Claudius informs Rosencrantz and Guildenstern that they are to escort Hamlet to England. He decides to pray. Hamlet sneaks up on him, but cannot carry out his revenge. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, still glad to help. We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious spirit is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty. Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we may fetters put about this fear, which now goes too free-footed. We will haste us. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit. Polonius enters, informs Claudius that he's off to Gertrude's room to spy on Hamlet. My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself to hear the process. I'll warrant she'll tax him home, and, as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should overhear the speech of vantage. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed, and tell you what I know. Polonius exits, and in a soliloquy we get a confession from Claudius. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and, like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. He is filled with guilt over what he's done. If only he could pray to relieve this guilt. What is this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardon being down? Then I'll look up, my fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me for my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of these effects for which I did the murder, my crown, my own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? How can he truly be sorry if he wants to continue being king and married to Gertrude? After all, heaven knows all. In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in its true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give an evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Then what can it, when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O limed, that struggling to be free, art more engaged! Help, angels, make us say, bow, stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be as soft as sinews of the newborn bass. All may be well. He's going to at least try to pray. And so, as he's kneeling, Hamlet enters. Here is his opportunity to take revenge. Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is a praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and I am so revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven? Catholic belief here. If Claudius dies praying, there's a chance he'll go directly to heaven. And how is that revenge? Hamlet wants Claudius to go to hell for what he did. Why? This is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flesh as May, and how his audit stands, who knows save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know that a more horrid hent, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at game, a swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it. Hamlet will wait till Claudius is sinning to carry out his revenge. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell. Whereto it goes, my mother stays, this psychic but prolongs thy sickly days. Hamlet exits to go talk to Gertrude. Claudius, in a new soliloquy, says, my words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go. Claudius wasn't actually praying. He couldn't bring himself to do it. So, in dramatic irony, Hamlet misses the opportunity for his revenge. Recap Act 3, Scene 3. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are to escort Hamlet to England. Claudius admits his guilt to the audience, but cannot confess to heaven. Hamlet passes on his opportunity to take revenge. Perspectives. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, commissioned to escort Hamlet to England, they are thankful for the opportunity, praise Claudius for keeping the whole kingdom safe. Polonius informs Claudius he is going to spy on Hamlet's encounter with Gertrude. He will report back after. Reminder, he still believes that Hamlet is lovesick for Ophelia. Claudius confesses he is responsible for his brother's death. He wants forgiveness, but not as much as he wants the crown and Gertrude. He tries to pray, but is unable to find the words. Hamlet. He feels entirely justified to carry out revenge at this point, but he decides not to kill Claudius because he's afraid of praying Claudius will go to heaven and thus be unpunished. Audience point of view. Hamlet has proof of Claudius's guilt. Claudius has confessed to the audience. When will he get his revenge? Hamlet passing on the opportunity to take revenge raises questions of his ability. What will happen when Hamlet speaks to Gertrude? Act 3, Scene 4, The Chambers of Gertrude. Polonius is hiding in Gertrude's room to listen to her conversation with Hamlet. Hamlet, thinking he has Claudius, kills Polonius. Hamlet speaks to a shocked Gertrude. Polonius reminds Gertrude of the task while they can hear Hamlet approaching. He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace has screened and stood between much heat and him. I'll silence me even here. Pray you, be round with him. Mother! 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 I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming. The confrontation begins as soon as Hamlet enters the room. How, mother, what's the matter? Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended. Mother, you have my father much offended. Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue. Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue. Why, how now, Hamlet? What's the matter now? Have you forgotten me? No, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's wife, and were not so, you are my mother. Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak. Come, come, and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you. What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help me. Polonius, fearing something is up, calls for help. What? Ho, help! Hamlet, assuming that's Claudius behind the arras, attacks. How now, a rat, dead for a ducat, dead. Oh, I am slain. Hamlet stabs the curtain, not knowing who's behind it. Gertrude, what have you done? Nay, I know not. Is it the king? He pulls back the arras, and they see Polonius's body. Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this. A bloody deed. almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother. Hamlet feels no remorse for what he's done. As kill a king? Aye, lady, it was my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou findest to be too busy in some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall if it be made of penetrable stuff. It damned custom have not braced it so that it be proof and bulwark against sense. What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me? Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face does glow over this solidity, and compound mass with heated visage, as against the doom, is thought sick at the act. Ay me, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index? There are portraits of both Claudius and King Hamlet in the room. Hamlet refers to the portraits. Look here upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on his brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threatening command, a station like the herald Mercury new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, a combination of form and deed, where God did seem to set his seat, to give the world assurances of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Ha! Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon judgment, and what judgment would step back from this? Why did you need to remarry anyways? You're old. Sense sure you have, else could you have motion, but sure that sense is epilexed, for madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy was never so thralled, but it reserves some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. Where is your shame? What devil was it that thus has cozened you at hoodman blind, eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of one true sense, could not so mope? O shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutine in a maiden's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives the charge, since fraught itself as actively doth burn, and reason panders will. Gertrude can't take it. Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnest my eyes into my very soul, and there I can see such black and grained spots as will not leave their tinct. Nay, but to live in rank and sweet of an inseminate bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty. Oh, speak to me no more. These words are like daggers enter my ears. No more, sweet Hamlet. A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the teeth of your precedent lords, a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire, and the rule that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put you in his pocket. Suddenly, the ghost appears, but only Hamlet can see it. No more! A king of shreds and patches. Save me and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure? Gertrude, seeing nothing. Alas, he's mad. Hamlet to the ghost. Do you not come your tardy son to chide? That lapse in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say. The ghost speaks to Hamlet, reminding him that he's to leave Gertrude alone. Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body stronger works. Speak to her, Hamlet. How is it with you, lady? Alas, how is it with you, that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? Forth at your eyes your spirits widely peep, and as sleeping soldiers in thy alarm. Hamlet's hair is sticking on end. Your bedded hair, like life and excrements, step up and stand on end. O gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look? On him! On him! Look you how pale he glares! His forms and cause conjoined, preaching to stones, would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this pious action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have do will want truer color, tears perchance for blood. To whom do you speak this? Do you see nothing there? No, nothing but ourselves. The ghost starts to fade out the window. Why, look you there! Look how it steals away! My father, in his habit as he lived, look where he goes even now out the portal. This is the very coinage of your brain, this bodiliest creation, ecstasy in very cunning in. Ecstasy? My pulses yours doth temperly keep time, and makes his healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Hamlet denies being mad. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword, which madness would gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not thy flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what's to come. Hamlet wants Gertrude to repent now. And do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this virtue, for in the fatness of these pursy times, virtue itself of vice must pardon beg, year curb, and woo for leave to do him good. O Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain. Oh, throw away the worser part, and live the pure with the other half. Good night, but go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. That monster, custom, who all sense doth eat, of habits devil, is angle yet in this, yet to the use of actions fair and good, he likewise gives a frock or livery that aptly to put on. Hamlet wants Gertrude to start acting appropriately. Change is difficult at first, but it gets easier. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy, for use almost can change the stamp of nature, and either the devil or throw him out in wondrous potency. Once more, good night, and when you are desirous to the blessed, a blessing beg of you. Hamlet expresses some remorse over Polonius. For this same Lord I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. This bad begins, and worse remains behind. Onward more, good lady. What shall I do? Not this by no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to his bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reechy kisses or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers. Hamlet claims to know exactly what he's doing. Make you to ravel all this matter out, that I am essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft. 'Twere good you'd let him know, for who that's but a queen fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, from a bat, a gib, such dear concernings hide. Who would do so? No, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket on the house's top, let the birds fly, and like the famous ape, to try conclusions, in the bass's creep, and break your own neck down. Hamlet wants to keep this conversation between the two of them. Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me. I must to England. You know that. Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on. So Hamlet knows he's to go to England. There's letters sealed, and my 2 schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will address fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way, and to marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard. So Hamlet will go willingly to England. And it shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their minds, and blow them to the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet when in one line 2 crafts directly meet. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighboring room. And with that, Hamlet drags Polonius' body out of Gertrude's room. Recapped Act 3, Scene 4. Hamlet, assuming Claudius is hiding in Gertrude's room, slays Polonius. Gertrude is shocked by her son's violent behavior. He speaks harshly to her. The ghost appears to remind Hamlet to leave his mother alone. Hamlet calms and advises Gertrude to stay away from Claudius. Before departing for England, Hamlet pulls Polonius' body from the room. Perspectives. Polonius. He still assumes that Hamlet is lovesick. He hopes Hamlet will confess to Gertrude, so he hides behind a curtain. When Hamlet gets physical with Gertrude, Polonius calls for help, and Hamlet assaults the curtain, killing him. Gertrude. Not prepared for this encounter. She witnesses Hamlet murdering Polonius, accusing Claudius, and speaking to the air. She seems to listen to Hamlet, but is taken aback by his madness. Hamlet. He is agitated and becomes physical with his mother. Feels Polonius got what he deserved. Shamed by the ghost, he tries to speak more gently, advising his mother to stay away from Claudius. Audience point of view. How will Laertes and Ophelia react to the death of their father? How will Claudius react? Will Hamlet be punished for what he did? What will Gertrude do about Claudius? Recap Act 3. Polonius' scheming is his undoing. His plan to spy on Ophelia and Hamlet fails, and he is killed when he tries to spy again. The play within the play reveals Claudius' guilt. He confesses to the murder. He orders Hamlet to England. Hamlet cannot carry out his revenge because he wants to ensure punishment.